leadership in terms of of whether they will support the ANC in the upcoming election?
Some strong words indeed, Desiree. In fact, the National Union of Mineworkers threatening that it will pull its entire workforce not to vote for the ANC, saying that what the ANC has done is essentially out of order because it did not discuss this unbundling of Eskom with them because it affects about 15,000 of its workforce at Eskom. And of course, in Mpumalanga, they have another about 20,000 workforce. So all in total, you could say that we're looking at about 60,000 people that could potentially not vote for the ANC if the National Union of Mineworkers has its say. The president of the union, the National Union of Mineworkers, Mr. Joseph Musitetse, is right behind me. Maybe you should hear it from him about the pulling of support for the ANC, particularly in the upcoming elections of May the 8th. Mr. Musitetse, thank you so much for your time. Very strong words that you have said, and a strong warning indeed to the ANC that you will withdraw your vote for them come May 8th if this unbundling of Eskom affecting your members goes ahead.
Thank you very much. We understand that the ANC itself is a revolutionary organization which stands for the rights of people. But the kind of ministers that they appoint is disappointing. Indeed, our members are very disappointed at the coal mines and at Eskom about the unbundling and about the way the things are going, because it will lead to massive unemployment. We are going to meet with the ministers, because ANC has brought in ministers to meet with us and tell them that they must do away with IPPs first and the unbundling. Of course, to withdraw the support of the ANC is a decision of the Congress. We cannot do it as the office bearers. But we will listen to our members, whatever they want. But we will understand that we are part of COSATU, and that resolution, if it is taken by the Congress of NUM, should go to the Congress of COSATU to be ratified. Yeah.
Business analysts and economists, they hail this decision of unbundling because they see it as a way to spread the cost. We remember that the cost issue and the liquidity of Eskom is one of the major issues that we also find the power utility to where it is right now. But you say you are sure that jobs will be lost. What have you done your own research with regards to job losses, or is it just on historical evidence?
Well, it is not historical evidence. Our research comes from the evidence that comes from Eskom, where top managers has written letters to junior managers to say that they must actually select the best team amongst the gangs which are working under them that they want, which means that people that are unwanted are going to be affected by this unbundling. But furthermore, we don't believe that unbundling will have any impact in terms of making Eskom a viable company. We believe that the problem with Eskom is, one, Eskom has no effective management and effective board. If you put an effective board, which will put effective management, and effective management that will put effective skills of engineers that understand Eskom. We think that those managers that have been fired from Eskom that were engineers, that were trained by Eskom, should be recalled to come and make Eskom a better company again.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Matselekoko should be recalled to come back to Eskom despite all the allegations of corruption leveled against him?
The court has found Matselekoko not to have any corruption. If the court of law have said that Matselekoko has not been found to be corrupt, then who else in the country can say Matselekoko cannot be recalled? That man have a skill that we want. He must come back to Eskom.
Let's talk about what the Minister of Public Enterprise announced yesterday about NL, the Italian engineers group that will be coming through to the country to help Eskom solve the matter. You had some strong words in opposition to that.
Yes, of course. We cannot be dictated by the international monopoly capital as to how we have to run our country. We believe that there is a way of people that want to invest in South Africa, not only invest, to come and reap the resources of South Africa. They dictate to us as to what we have to do. We believe that the skill that is sourced from Italy is here in South Africa. As we have alluded to the fact that there was load shedding before, And that load shedding was actually stopped by South African professionals. Why can't we look for professionals in South Africa who can help us? Can we as a nation depend on other nations to fix our problems? We don't believe that is the right way to go.
President Joseph Muthisetse, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, Desiree, there you have it. The President of the National Union of Mineworkers had some strong words to say indeed about their support for the ANC come May the 8th. He had some strong words to say about what has been touted as an Italian company probably coming to South Africa to help with the Eskom crisis, saying that we do have skills. But shocking and indeed surprising is the fact that they, as the union, say they want Mr. Matsela Koko, who is the suspended former CEO of Eskom, to go back to Eskom, as they say he will be able to help the power utility to turn around its fortunes. We wonder what the board and the leadership at Eskom would say about that.
Interesting indeed, Liabo, but you speak about what the response of the board will be. At the beginning of his address, Mr. Muthisetse was questioning President Cyril Ramaphosa's actions in terms of the board, saying the president himself had sent a vote of no confidence against the current board by appointing the task team. What has been the sentiment around that assertion, that the appointment of the task team in a way meant that the board was ineffective?
Look, that's exactly what they say as the union, that they do not understand why there are two parallel structures tasked to do with the same thing. We know that a few weeks ago, or maybe 2 months ago, we had a task team that was appointed to help with the turning around of the power utility. And of course, we understand that it is this very task team that came up with the idea of unbundling the power utility into three. And they, as the union, are totally against this. And they say that this means that this action on its own renders the board useless. Why do you need a task team, a special task team, if you already have a board? Then they're calling for the board to be dissolved and a board to be made of a new board to be appointed.
He also touched on what he said was quality coal being exported and substandard coal being sent to Eskom. Is there any proof in terms of this assertion?
Unfortunately, we were not able to get them to give us the proof, but we know that this is a conversation that has been had amongst particularly the unions that are working at Eskom or are representing at Eskom about the quality or the inferior coal that we find at certain power stations, which I believe could be the reason also that you find power stations not functioning as well as they should be, because as you know that coal has different grading systems, and they say that inferior coal is being sent to Eskom and therefore it is damaging power plants, and good quality coal is being exported, and this they say should be looked into.
So overall, Liabo, what is NUM providing in terms of solutions to the Eskom debacle?
NUM is not offering any solution, Desiree. NUM is basically complaining about how they were not consulted by the ANC, how they were not consulted by by Eskom itself, that they have requested numerous meetings with the Eskom management so that they can discuss this issue. The only leverage that they seem to have is withholding their votes come May the 8th. But when it comes to solutions, they are giving us problems about what could go wrong with the unbundling if it goes ahead and that jobs could be lost. They say they've seen this at Transnet, they've seen this at Telkom, and they do not want it to go ahead. But they do not offer any new solutions on what should be done instead.
Liabo, thank you so much for that update. There's a lot we could talk about, but thank you so much for your update.
Yeah, let's stay with the story now and listen to NUM on its stance on Eskom's unbundling and its support for the ANC in the upcoming elections.